Wow, thank you so much. Um, I want to say a very special thank you to my friend, my collaborator, my co-conspirator, Susan Burton, for that beautiful introduction. You know I love you, and I appreciate you, and it's truly a joy to fight for justice alongside you. Thank you to the Hollywood Reporter and Social Impact Fund for honoring me and for bringing us together. There is a long, rich history in this country of the two worlds represented here, the world of arts and culture and the world of social impact, joining in common cause for our common good, indeed for our collective liberation. And today, I'm reflecting especially on the lifelong partnership and friendship between two heroes of mine, the embodiment of these often intersecting worlds, Harry Belafonte and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. During the final days of Dr. King's life, they sat together in Mr. Belafonte's home. Now, this was March 1968, not August 1963, so it was King in the valley, not King on the mountaintop. He had grown weary from the heavy burden he had shouldered, and he had lamented to his friend that America was, in his perfectly chosen phrase, a burning house, a house on fire. I'm afraid, he said then, that America has lost its moral vision, that absent meaningful equality and opportunity and justice, we will, and I quote, continue to perpetuate the anger and violence that tears at the soul of this nation. Sound familiar? They say history often rhymes, right? Mr. Belafonte then asked, well, Dr. King, what would you have us do? Dr. King replied simply, become the firemen. We gather this afternoon in our own house on fire. We gather in a city still reeling, heartbroken, painfully struggling to rebuild from the literal fires. Homes and lives are still in ruin. We also gather in a nation ablaze. All across this country, the air is thick. It can be hard to find a voice. It can be hard to breathe. The grief and the fear, the pervasive sense of how much we've lost and how quickly. It can be suffocating. My heart is heavy. Our government is kidnapping and disappearing our friends and neighbors, our kids' caregivers in the park, our builders, and then occupying our streets to silence the voices of those exercising their constitutional rights and responsibilities, I might add, to dissent. Our government is stealing from the poorest children in our communities, the poorest children on earth, taking away food, taking away aid, taking away health care to line the pockets of the wealthiest. Day after day, our government is abandoning the shared values that have inspired us to become our best, to serve as a beacon for the world, to serve as the hope of the tired, of the tempest-tossed, of all who yearn to breathe free, to say nothing of the corruption and the cruelty and the malice and the seeming impunity. And the arsonists, the ones who ignite and stoke this destructive fire, are the ones we elected. The ones who swore an oath to protect this house, to defend its people, to defend its constitution and the rule of law. And yet, I can hear my grandmother saying, rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation. And yet, we might imagine Mr. Belafonte and Dr. King sitting together, maybe somewhere in some humble living room, maybe plastic covering the sofas, just like at my grandmother's house, maybe somewhere on the other side. And Dr. King, despite it all, imploring Mr. B and all of us simply, become the firemen, fight these fires. Susan Burton is a firefighter. Nearly 3 decades ago, she asked formerly incarcerated women at a bus stop if they needed a place to stay. A new way of life. Susan's righteous organization was born, and with it, an audacious leader who ennobles and emboldens and inspires us all. Ann Lee and Sean Penn are firefighters. Through CORE, they've shown us that even amidst disaster, our shared humanity can transcend devastation through neighbors serving neighbors, strangers serving strangers. You saw my friend Norris Henderson on that video. He's a firefighter too. He's a fearless leader in the crusade to ban the box and to reduce Louisiana's incarceration rate, which is currently the highest rate in the country, which means it's the highest in the world, the most incarcerated place on the planet. Mike De La Rocha is a firefighter. Mike's here tonight. He's one of the earliest architects of our organization, Free America, and he presses always for us to get proximate, to hear and heed the voices of the people closest to injustice. You saw my friend Desmond Meade from Florida. He's a firefighter. My dear friend and partner in the vanguard of the campaign to restore the voting rights of more than 1.4 million Floridians and far, far beyond. And here in Los Angeles, we celebrate the 15,000 plus first responders who ran headfirst into the inferno earlier this year. We appreciate them. We owe so much to them. Among them, more than 1,000 incarcerated firefighters embedded alongside CAL FIRE crews to help contain the Palisades and Eaton fires. Sometimes these individuals worked for 24 hours at a time, often returning to a prison cell with little more than $1 an hour to show for it. In January, I spent time with a group of them in Eaton, and I was moved deeply by their reflections, by their courage, by their sacrifice. I was moved by what many of them told me. Fighting fires made them feel part of something bigger than themselves, part of a community, often for the first time. My friend Brian Stevenson, founder of the Equal Justice Initiative, says, we are more than the worst thing we've ever done. These men and women represent all of us at our best. No matter where we come from, no matter what we've been through, we all have the capacity to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and rebuild anew. To rebuild our own lives and families, to rebuild our neighborhoods and cities, to rebuild, starting wherever we stand, with whatever we can, by whatever means we can. For more than a decade, I have sought out these firefighters, the courageous leaders who are dousing the flames of inequality and injustice. I've listened to their stories. I've sat in their living rooms. I've had them come sit in mine. I've learned from their experiences. And I've sung and danced and marched to their beat, doing all I can in all the ways I can to serve them as they serve all of us. So, while this extraordinary recognition may bear my name, and I'm so grateful, when I look at this award, I see the names of all the people who helped this work grow and helped me grow. I see the names of my team members and my co-conspirators, the wonderful folks at Proper Daily who inform me and keep me connected. My manager and business partner, Ty Stick-Lorius, and the team at Friends at Work. My longtime friend and advisor, Hassan Smith. All of them have been by my side, often literally, visiting prisons, visiting detention centers, doing the work together for all these years. Now, another kind of team might have preferred that this work be an afterthought and focus solely on making money, doing my day job. But they've always supported this work, and they have made it our shared priority. When I look at this award, I also see my grandmother, Elmira Lloyd. She was our church organist, and she colored my world with music and joy. And I see my mother, who's still with us. Her name is Phyllis Stevens, and she showed me that change is possible. Redemption is possible. It's not inevitable, but it's possible with grace. I see my family, Chrissy, Luna, Miles, Esty, Ren, the names that fill my life with faith and hope and love. The Bible says the greatest of these is love. Love has to power everything we do, everything we fight for. And seeing and loving my babies reminds me why I keep fighting for their future, our future. I see the names of people who do the heavy lifting every day, the people who are fighting the raging flames, the people who are working to restore, in Dr. King's words, America's moral vision, to repair the soul of this nation. The people who understand, like those incarcerated firefighters in Eaton, that giving liberates the giver, that the road to salvation, personal, collective, moral, runs through service. It is because of all these people that I am here, and it is with humility, with reverence and gratitude for them, that I accept this award on their behalf. Thank you so much.
I'm Craig Sitchie. I'm the Executive Director of the Social Impact Fund. I'll come out later and talk. But I wanted to just, number one, thank John and congratulate you on this recognition. If you don't know, John Legend and the Show Me campaign was our first sponsored program at the Social Impact Fund. We're still here today. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But I just wanted to just congratulate you again. And on behalf of this board of the Social Impact Fund, I want to give you this check for $25,000 for the Show Me campaign.
Thank you.
I'm out of breath. I just ran down the aisle. It was like The Price is Right, for God's sake. Anyway, thank you.